San Francisco passed a law giving you 2 hours to park your house before a city tow truck hauls it to the impound lot. You probably hear van life and picture a remote worker with a GoPro chasing sunsets through the desert. The reality is that at least 400 local families just found out their only available shelter now qualifies as a towable offense. We are watching some of the wealthiest, most self-described compassionate cities in the country respond to a catastrophic housing shortage, and instead of building homes, they are writing parking ordinances. We'll count down 8 steps showing exactly how a desperate survival plan was legally transformed into a criminal countdown clock, from a broken AI chatbot to a 6-to-1 city council vote. This is the anatomy of a crackdown. Number 8. The RV Industry Association sells a specific dream. Their commercials are packed with retired couples watching sweeping sunsets over Red Rock canyons. But this graph shows the reality. There's a 41% upward trajectory from 2019 to 2023, crossing 486,000 Americans living full-time in RVs. Behind that line, a third are raising kids, with most earning under $75,000 a year. Number 7. The math of the current economy simply does not work. When the national average rent sits around $1,900 a month, a $14 an hour warehouse job cannot mathematically clear the bills. Moving your family into 200 square feet on wheels is an inevitable result of a broken economic spreadsheet. Washington refuses to fix the missing column, so working families are forced to absorb the cost by giving up their foundation. Number 6. A flash flood tore through Kerrville, Texas earlier this year, completely erasing an entire RV park. 28 trailers were swept away in a single night. These parks are almost always placed in cheap, flood-prone land. Nobody zones safe, high ground for a temporary neighborhood, and an aluminum chassis lacks a foundation bolted into bedrock to survive rising water. Even the industry's own spokespeople admit these vehicles were never built to withstand extreme weather. They were built for recreation. The housing market is forcing a fragile product to do a job it structurally cannot survive. Number 5. Take Palo Alto, California. The median home values here sit in the millions, driven by massive tech campuses. Yet parked just blocks away from that extreme wealth is a glaring line of poverty. During public comments, residents dismissed the RV population as drug users who simply refused to work. That directly contradicts the census data we just looked at, but the narrative helps justify the resulting legislation. Number 4. The City Council held a vote and passed a new law 6-to-1. They banned what they call van lording and explicitly prohibited parking non-motorized trailers anywhere on public pavement. Read the ordinance carefully. The language is surgically precise. By focusing entirely on vehicles rather than income, the city legally bypasses the fact that they have a massive housing crisis. A tow truck does not reverse an eviction. It merely reclassifies a poor person as a parking violation and relocates the problem to whichever town hasn't drafted the same law yet. Number 3. In San Francisco, Mayor Daniel Lurie's administration pushed a 2-hour parking limit on any vehicle longer than 22 feet, or taller than 7. Those exact dimensions perfectly capture RVs, without ever requiring the city to use the word homeless. A mayoral advisor claimed the ultimate goal was stability indoors, rather than exposure on the street. That sounds perfectly humane, until you ask where that indoor housing is supposed to come from. It simply does not exist for the majority of these families. Number 2. This chart breaks the math. Out of 169 towed vehicles, only 82 people were housed. For the uncounted majority, arbitrary deadlines and a broken chatbot guaranteed zero path to shelter, leaving them a running citation clock and nowhere to go. The 82 success stories got a press release. The uncounted families lost their RVs to the impound lot and were relegated to the sidewalk. Number 1. This legal strategy is not an isolated anomaly born in San Francisco or Palo Alto. Right down the coast, Santa Cruz already has its own pre-existing oversized vehicle ban. And right next door, the city of Capitola is openly discussing copying that exact same ordinance. This is a terrifying systemic failure. What we are looking at is a single, legally tested template being quietly copy-pasted by city attorneys whenever their local RV count gets too embarrassing for the press. The population of 486,000 Americans pushed into vehicles keeps growing every year. But the only thing actually scaling up to meet them is the criminalization of their existence. You can call it a country too distracted to fix a crisis, or you can call it a system working exactly as designed. But the next ordinance is already drafted somewhere. Check how your own city votes, because it might be coming to your zip code next.